start this stream. I'm just gonna start this stream. You know.
Quality, quantity, and variety.
Rock Flux.
Let's get this show on the road.
This is a beret. Now, I realize there's probably some people that just don't tune in here because they think it's something different or something. Right? What do you think this is? Right? It's a beret. Beret. Right? See the dingleberry on the T and want on the above? See the dingleberry?
Hello. 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 Hello.
I'm like a little tired and cranky. I just fed the birds. It was miserable sleeping last night. I woke up at 1 o'clock, 1 a.m. Yeah. I mean, and then it was just in and out of whatever you call it. Whatchamacallit, you know?
This is a nightmare. Must be a nightmare.
Tony Caravan.
You've been subjected to a highly sophisticated form of propaganda.
It's just what you need, and not what you don't.
Hey, there's the... What's this thing? There's something... Oh, it's the microphone. The microphone is blocking the Andy Warhol. Auga. Auga.
You're listening to Tony Caravan Live.
And that man is crazy. Yeah, further watch discovery. Hey, when you have a pain in the upper left-hand corner, is that the sign of a heart attack? I took a half of an aspirin. Maybe that'll help. Probably the caffeine's wrong, though. Who knows? I was thinking of smoking a stale cigar today. Can't find a decent one. I'm also wondering that I actually may not have watched a playback of my show yesterday because I went out early to water the plants. This is a beret. Okay? And you see what's happening now? They are messing with my thing. I even turned the air conditioner on, and now it's in slow-mo mode. And you tell me that nobody's messing with me. Right? Excellent connection, people and blogs, further explanation into the unknowable, and look at my mouth, it's completely out of sync. How do you explain that? The legendary white handkerchief. They just don't want me to do this show. It's like the coolest show on on YouTube. It really is. I mean, forget about these guys who are the YouTube millionaires, you know, or hey, look at me, we just bought a house. Error. YouTube is not receiving a video to maintain whatever. No, I'm not with this. I'm going to move forward and just pretend and ignore this. Let's look at the title of the show under edit. If it'll let me. CPU 30%. What the hell? 35%. What is being used? Email? Yeah, my computer's acting like way wacko. Quit. Alright. Tony Caravan Live, June 29th, 2021, in the former United States. Title of this show is Further Explorations into the Unknowable. Description: this way to the beach, for those of you who are muscle bound like me. Once you come to the realization that things are not the way they appear to be, and that you don't know what you don't know. By the way, I'm wearing the "You Don't Know What You Don't Know" shirt, which totally messed up this 2-bit seat I have. Then life is a bowl of cherries, or whatever your favorite snack or comfort food is. Error: YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Though I'm pushing 2,700 kilobytes and my CPU usage is only around 6.1%, and I've got 30 frames per second coming out of my, coming out. So you tell me, YouTube, what are you doing? They just can't dig that I've got this set up. They're like, what's he doing? How's he doing all that stuff? You know, how's he doing that? How's he bringing that thing up? Right? How's that happen? I had 2 White Castle burgers for breakfast this morning because I did take an aspirin. And I didn't want to have like take an aspirin and a Tylenol and an upset stomach. Of course, that's not what a White Castle burger looks like. Oh, and by the way, this was the side of my mouth that was like causing all the, tooth problem, right? Remember, the tooth. The tooth. Well, now something over here is acting up top. Big time. Like it's ready to like, dang! Look at the hand in my glasses. My eyes. There's 2 hands. Error: YouTube is not receiving enough. Man, I'll tell you, this really is. It really is. I can't do it. Anyway, I'm still out of sync. Yeah, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah. What does it really matter?
Making up the rules as we go along.
Basically, that's what YouTube is doing. So, what am I supposed to do? The cat's still here? No. He's gone. So maybe we'll just noodle on the guitar until this thing gets straightened out. I was thinking, wouldn't it be neat if, and maybe somebody already did this, if somebody invented say an electric guitar and it had a built-in tuner that forced the strings to like stay in tune. Like, in other words, it was like tuning them. It's hard for you to see. And I'm completely out of sync, and I don't know. Everything you know is wrong. This is a lie. it's real bassy. For thin strings. Somebody at YouTube has decided they would ruin all of my morning shows at the very beginning. This kind of vocal is reminiscent of days gone by when the troubadours would tell their stories. They'd tell their stories. Tell their stories about the lies. Somebody at YouTube is throttling my videos. Someone at YouTube is afraid of the truth. It's they who are the liars. They who have something to hide. They are the enemies of the people. Someone at YouTube is intentionally making this show invisible. Someone at YouTube is hiding it from the search list. What are they so afraid of? Why? How could you live with yourself? What kind of life is it to be afraid of words? Someone at YouTube is throttling my videos. Someone at YouTube is destroying my livelihood. Someone at YouTube has finally decided to give me an excellent connection. Thank you very much. God bless you. "14 minutes and 43 seconds into the show, my voice is finally back into sync. They've got a thing there, analytics chat rate, and they don't even let me have chat. It's not even an option. It's not even an option. Muscle man. Hey, I weighed myself with my socks on today, and I was down like an extra pound or two. The question is, what do I do today to take another 2 pounds off? Did you see this? You don't know what you don't know? You know, you could get one of those shirts on TonyCaravanLive.com, which appears right on the front of your screen. My computer is heating up. CPU usage is high, but there's no reason for it to be high because I'm not really doing anything and I have absolutely 0 apps open. So I don't know. Like I said, you know, you got an idea. You just want to do something. Sometimes Henry Kissinger, he thinks we're all useless eaters. But sometimes I come in here and Henry Kissinger is overtaking my body. And I just want to do a good morning show. All right? Just want to do a good morning show. This is a beret, by the way. I'm starting to wonder if people are like, see this, and they're like, who's that guy with some kind of weird foreign hat on or something? Well, it is a foreign hat on. It's traditional French, wear. But it's not like what you may think, what some people are probably thinking. I just want to point attention to my set back there. Eyes Without a Face, Game Over. The Andy Warhol banana, worth a fortune. NASA hat. My books and CDs. See that stack below the NASA hat? Alright? These are all my books. They're not even all my books. And above them are my CDs. There's an AM radio, tubes, codex. There's my latest book right here. Next, above the Pabst Blue Ribbon. The old-fashioned phone, the hotline to the president. The vinyl album that we haven't done yet. By the way, that's a key punch card right here where my thumb is. That's how computing started. Used to put a stack of those in to run a program. Great solar stuff is... Which way? This one? Yeah. No. This one? Yeah. Okay. See, they're driving me mad, and that's their whole idea. They just want to drive me frickin' mad.
Why are you telling us this?
Because the truth needs to come out. And the title of this show is The Unknowable. So I showed you that, they're trying to end this too. Right? I'm sorry if you're a vegan or a vegetarian. You don't get it. You're eating the true owners of the planet. The flora, the trees, the flowers, the plants and stuff. It's their world, it's not ours. You see, when you eat a burger or something, you're just eating things that are provided to provide CO2 for the plants to breathe and excrement for fertilizer for the plants. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. It's a frog, see? You see? A frog. Remember that cartoon, The Frog? Who was the frog on? Right? It was a copy of Edward G. Robinson. Yeah, see? I'm coming back.
And this time I'm going to be the boss of everything, the boss of the whole world. The International Crime Syndicate, you see? I'm going to be in charge of the New World Order, see? Yeah. That's who's running the show. Gangsters.
Let's take a look at our title card from this morning. If we can calm down a little bit. And nothing worse than starting off, with something like what happened this morning. There's our title card. The Morning Show, hosted by Tony Caravan. All right? It's an Americanized name. It was changed back in the early 1900s to open up a grocery store. You morons. People are afraid of that name. They don't even know what that name is. That's why they're confused. They don't know what the beret is. They probably think I'm wearing some kind of thing that has to do with some weirdness. And that's probably one of the contributors, that and YouTube themselves, the most unpopular vlog on the internet. Check out that chick. She's not wearing a bra. Nice thighs. Now, here's my dilemma. Boozilla. I created this original artwork for a bar that I was DJing at. Had some type on it, as to do to the happy hours. And of course, you ain't in my hometown brew. And so I'm tempted to have a few cold ones today. I'm kind of afraid to get into the weather because, I think that, who knows, that might do something. But anyway, let's see if we can.
The Weather Watch forecast.
Here's the deal. It's 72 degrees outside at 6:41 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today it's going to be a high of 91 actually. Overnight 72. Tomorrow it's going to be 88. All right. Later on in the week it's going to get down. Get down, man, Anyway, that was your...
The Weather Watch forecast.
As far as getting down, I meant to say...
Funky.
Yeah.
Grab another flashback from yesteryear.
And that's what this is. We're pretending it's the 1950s. All right? I am a beat poet, and I can see that it's almost out of sync again. But we're going to plow through this thing. So I got 2 shows to watch. Yeah, I think I didn't watch yesterday's show because I don't remember hearing me sing Dixie Chicken. And I know that was just an impromptu thing, and it wasn't really a great rendition. But I tried. Can you hear the slurping on the microphone? It's so hot I don't know how long. I'm sorry. Let me drop everything and work on your problem. So let's take the Pabst Blue Ribbon, which is really a Faygo, not sponsored. I don't know why people say stupid stuff like that, because it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. If I was sponsored by them, I wish I were. Yesterday morning when I went out, feed the birds and water the garden, I have some of this stinging nettle growing. You know what stinging nettle is? It's one of these, it's like an herb. It's a wild herb, but I mean, I bought the seeds to it. But it's it's one of the most nutritious plants for you. But if you brush your arm against it, it's like you got stung by a bunch of bees. I'm serious. Stinging nettle. That's what they call it, stinging nettle. But what you do is you boil it, and then that gets rid of that. And I guess it's something in that stinging nettle thing, or whatever the hell it is, that is just filled with, like, there's no other herb, no other thing that has as much in it, you know, packed in, that you can get when it's boiled, cooked, because people drink it as a tea. You could also put it in a soup too. But consult your herbologist, or whatever they call it, before doing something like that. This is a beret, okay? I am a beat poet, all right? These are my beat poetry songs.
There are the little things, like
Okay, these are like my...
there's a war being fought.
I am a beat poet. Boom, 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 boom. This is a beret. I am a beat poet.
Hey, it's me. How you doing, man?
Well, I'm trying to get things across. The first 15 minutes, approximately 1440, 43 or whatever, of this show, I was accosted by YouTube. They were trying to do, they pulled every trick in the book to screw me over. Who's gonna put up with watching the first 15 minutes? You know, half these people make videos, they're only 15 minutes long. So they figure, okay, we're gonna, fuck with this guy. Yeah, let's just call it what it is. Fuck with them for 15 minutes, and then that way nobody's gonna tune in to this thing.
I originally wrote this song.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Today's Tuesday, by the way, second day of the week. We're coming up on the 4th of July weekend. Is my mouth in sync? It appears to be. I have to keep checking this. Funny thing is, it says on YouTube analytics, right? Stream settings, stream health, and all that stuff. Excellent connection. And on my processor is the exact same numbers, or even less, or like a more processing and less than it was when they were saying there was a problem. But it also has me only pushing about 23 frames per second, which makes no sense whatsoever. So I really don't get it. Is the fan on? Yeah. I don't know. There's no way the air conditioner could have turned the heater on in this room, because I turned it down to like 68 or something. I don't know.
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm just trying to get through this show. So let's try to get started one more time.
More solid gold music.
Well, you heard some music, some beat poetry music by me. What I was getting back to is dealing with the 1950s. And I'm going to try looking at this. Geez, my frame rate's gone down to 20 frames per second. Look at that expression. Utter disappointment. Why? Why are you doing this to me? You know? I'm going to try to do this. This is even going to cause more problems. Alright. That just jumped that way over, which it shouldn't have done. I'm trying to look at my edit thing. Once you come to the realization that things are nothing like the way they appear to be, and that you don't know what you don't know, Tony Caravan in parentheses, that's my quote, then life is a bowl of cherries, or a box of chocolates, or whatever your favorite snack or comfort food is. So eat up, sucker. And that's what I'm trying to get at, is that, you know, you can live anywhere you want to, you could do whatever you want to. The old Mac there. The old radio. The 50s and the 60s behind me lives. Right? It's amazing. It's kind of neat. And I've got the old cow bandana there because they look at us as cattle. It's doing it again. Frame rate just shot way down to 15 frames per second. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to be able to do the show.
Okay.
Yeah, easy for you to say. You're just nothing but a recording. All right, I'm going to try to do this show, and I realize my lips are going to be out of sync. And I have no explanation for it, other than they're messing with me. Sadly disappointed. That was a car going by. I smiled several seconds ago. So, here's the thing. I'm going to get up and turn the air conditioner on, and see if that is affecting the CPU. Though I have a fan behind the CPU and an internal fan, and there really is no reason. I don't know what the internal temperature is in this room right now, but I guess I'm just going to have to do that. So, I don't know how to take these things off, or if I should. Let's just take them off. Almost look like Groucho Marx there. You don't know what you don't know. Right? I just turned the air conditioner on. try to adjust this 20-year-old chair, my glasses. This is a beret. Okay? And if you haven't heard that sound before, it's hot in here, I gotta admit that, but that's not causing. I'm just trying to not give them any excuse whatsoever to do what they're doing. So, bear with me. Just pretend you're on an airplane or something, you know, if you can hear that air conditioner. I can start to feel it on my feet. You don't know what you don't know. Get the shirt. It's available at Tony Caravan Live. 19 frames per second. People are saying, I'm so tired of him talking about the technical stuff. Just get on with the show. It's not as bad as you think it is. You're being paranoid. Not being paranoid. I have 0 viewers. My only viewer right now is an algorithm. Right? Prove me wrong and click the like button. And this thing keeps shooting over to the left, which means they're like really messing with me. Big time right now. Big time. Yeah, I'm too sexy for my shirt. Ugh. Trying to get comfortable, cool, calm, and collected. And we'll see what happens.
I am your main connection to the switchboard of souls. I'm the magic man.
So the question is why, right? Forget about all this Save America, Build Back Better, and Great Reset stuff, okay? That's like the triumvirate of absurdity that's going on right now in the world, right? On the global standpoint, you've got the organized crime syndicate that are trying to Great Reset, which is basically depopulation and all kinds of authoritarian, you know, global governance, one world government type of thing. Then you have the Build Back Better, right, which is like ridiculous. And then you have Save America, which is just as ridiculous. Build Back Better is absurd because their main thrust is this idea of this infrastructure project, but at the same time they want to get rid of the fuels, the carbon-based fuels, that is the only way you can fix the infrastructure is with carbon-based fuels. I mean, literally. There is no alternative. You cannot run an excavator, a bulldozer, a crane on batteries, okay? Can't happen. And even if you could, and if the great Elon Musk, who's the biggest fraud there is, right? He's a fraud, right? He's a kid, he's a boy with toys, playing games, he wants to go to Mars. You know, he's not going to Mars, okay? He'll send some poor sap who'll die out there, right? But he's not going to Mars. And then you have the Save America cult of personality recent rally just held and stuff. And Save America from what? The Build Back Better group? Right? Nothing's changed, man. Do what I do. Live in the frickin' 50s and 60s. Everything you know is wrong. And like the shirt I'm wearing, which you saw when I stood up, you don't know what you don't know. The unknowable. And as you've seen in the first 15 minutes of this show, the unspeakable. They don't even want people like me even speaking it. And I'm not political, and I'm not violating any terms of service. Right? Maybe they don't like the idea that I'm like broadcasting in black and white in the 1950s, and that maybe I'm a time traveler, right? And then I set this get up years ago. They don't like that. You see? Maybe that bothers them. I don't know what it is. Doesn't make sense. But you can't apply logic to people that are emotionally unstable and functionally illiterate. And that's the situation we're in right now. So it's like, I get frustrated and disappointed, and obviously you can view it live and watch it on this video if you watch the first 15, 20 minutes. But the fact of the matter is, when it's all said and done, I don't care. I don't care about that. You know, because what you see behind me, you know, and even, you know, when I was showing, I don't know if I showed it. You know, and it's like, you know, it's not like I'm tooting my horn. But it is, you know. And by the way, it's impossible to do. You can't use a camera to do it, you just have to do it yourself there. Codex. That's my latest book, Codex. It's available on Amazon.com. Buy the fucking book. All right? Buy the fucking book. What's your problem? Here's a sampling of some of my previous books. Look at them. These are all Tony Caravan books. See the name on there? Okay? Why are they blocking me? How come I never got a blue check when I used to do, you know, Twitter? How many people have like multiple CDs? Okay? See if we can get them into a light here. You can see my name. See? Tony Caravan, Central Beat Poetry. Yes, this is a beret I'm wearing on my head. Beat Poetry. What's a problem with that? Because because I'm not political. You know, that's what I'm starting to think. It's because I'm not political that they don't like. That I'm, because what it is if someone like me, because this is a professional operation apart from the belches and the goofiness stuff that I do, and there's plenty of people that do goofy stuff. I was thinking about Ernie Kovacs, you know, and some of the classic, you know, comedians over the years that were still respected and had good shows and stuff like that. Why, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. My mustache looks that way. What's the most it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Right? I'm almost starting to look like Groucho. Right? I am Groucho. But it's like, no, it's not that. I mean, there is that lack of sense of humor in today's, like, you know, what do you call it? Social media verse or whatever, you know? Psychoverse. You know, the psychoverse we're living in. I mean, I don't know. But I guess trying to find the rationale for why they do the things they do is an exercise in futility, just like voting is an exercise in futility. You know, if you and campaign contributions, all campaign contributions do is go to the media, and the media are the people that basically got us where we are now, and we're done, and the U.S. is over. It's the former United States. Save what? What are you going to save? You know, have you ever thought about that? No, you haven't. Save what? What do you do? Save Chicago? Those people don't want to be saved. And what are you going to save them with? Force? Right? Send in a National Guard and like what? Go down every street and have like soldiers and turn this country into a police state? Right? And those people, and then that'll be like eternal, like dystopian future, right? Underground, you know, gangs doing this, attacks, you know, domestic, you know, I mean, no. We're beyond the point of no return. And people just need to get that through their head and just come on back and live in the 50s and the 60s. It was a better time. Come on back, man. And like that thing above the Eyes Without a Face guy says, game over, man. Game over. Get the shirt. I have that available in a shirt. I have it available in a shopping bag, too. Today's garbage day. I already put my garbage out. Jerry Lewis. Funny man and taken seriously. It's the, you know, it's not just the duality of man, it's, you know, whatever. Have a, you know, people are too uptight, man. They're just uptight. I mean, the whole concept of somebody being triggered, period, is an example that you are uptight and you got a problem, not the person that's so-called triggering you. Right? Sticks and stones, okay? Grow up. This Peter Pan generation now reaches into its 40s. I'm sorry to say, you know, there's this girl I used to know. Well, I still know her. But, you know, if she's watching this show, I'm just going to tell you right out. Man, why don't you just be fucking honest for once? You know? Don't bother fucking calling me. All right? Because you know what? You don't approve. Your soul, your mind is lost. And you've been leading me on for 20 fucking years. You know? After all the fucking shit I did for you. And that's what it is with everybody. I don't want, you know, that's why I'm glad where I am. To anyone who knows me who's watching this video, don't even fucking think of visiting me or calling me. All right? Leave me the fuck alone. You know, I've been doing this shit for fucking years now, and I've gotten no support from any of you fucks. And that includes family. You know. Sorry. I'm sorry. You know. And that's the way it is. It's a Peter Pan fucking culture. So everybody up to the age of like late 40s, almost pushing 50, are Peter Pan fucking culture. Living with their fucking parents. And they got some kind of excuse, you know. But it's just a fucking excuse. And I could shoot it down if I want to, but I'm not going to. And then people over 50, man, they're like living in a fucking dream world. They're psychonauts. Watching TV. Good Morning America, right? Or whatever the fuck they watch. Watching these weird multi-millionaire people who live in gated communities, multi-million-dollar apartments or condos overlooking Central Park or some ocean view, taken to work in a limo or some souped-up bulletproof SUV with their own driver and security team, right? And they're pretending they're standing up for the common man or woman. And they're pushing all this other crazy ass stuff just as content. They don't care about it. They're not gonna do the stuff that they're pushing for their kids. Their kids are going to private schools. And, you know, and the Ivy League colleges. I know, man, I was at the Ivy League. You know, I know all about that stuff. all a big charade. It's a game. And what happens is that they are so, it's so weird that they would pick on a guy like me, you know? And like I say, you're paranoid, you know, you just... It's like, hey, I rest my frickin' case. No. No, they're afraid because can produce. I'm a producer. And they have to like keep people like me down because I could talk to the people in a real way. Right? I break down a situation. I'm still the only person. You tell me, you find another person. I'm still the only person who has explained that you cannot fix the infrastructure in America while at the same time have the Green New Deal. You cannot eliminate carbon-based fuels, or as they say, phase out carbon-based fuels, right? And at the same time say you're going to have this grandiose rebuild America, build back better infrastructure bill, which requires quadruple or octuple, or whatever the proper term is, of the uses of carbon-based fuels to run that heavy equipment in order to fix the infrastructure. It's going to create jobs. How many people are qualified to use an excavator? How many people could even run a skid steer, right? I was watching one of these guys on one of these homesteads. He got a skid steer. I don't know if he bought it or rented it. I think he bought it. And he had the glass door on the front of it, and he shattered it, right? Half the guys who really run skid steers, brother, they don't even fucking bother putting that glass door on there. And that guy at least can pick up a pile of wood and move it somewhere. Where are these people? Who's going to be operating these cranes to fix bridges for major thoroughfares? Where are the welders? Right? Right? Where are all these people? These are tradesmen. These guys, it's like when you saw when they were like closing down the pipelines, which they did, whatever, I don't know, 5 months ago or whatever it was. These guys were middle-aged to older, middle-aged and up. You didn't see a bunch of 21, 22-year-old, 25-year-olds there, right? You don't learn how to run cranes, bulldozers, excavators, and all sorts of, there's like this, I used to be involved, in fact, I worked on a project one time. It was with an energy companies. This is years back, not that many years back, but like in the 2000s. Okay. And they had part of their thing was an event where they had, an exposition, like a day where people could go, and they had showcased a lot of this heavy equipment. And I would say 2/3 of that stuff, of that equipment that was there, pictured, the average person wouldn't even know what it was. I didn't know what the fuck it was. Like I say, I know excavators, bulldozers, heavy-duty uke trucks, these giant dump trucks, but they're like, the tires are taller than a man, right? Who's going to drive those? You think you can get some kid? What would they say? Oh, we're going to like retrain these people? You mean some guy who's lost his job as a clerk or a waiter is going to suddenly figure out how to use, the creeper gear in a uke? You're going to trust them? How many crane accidents are there in New York City, or used to be, massive construction, right? Many. How many people died, buildings destroyed? But you're gonna bring in some 20-year-old and suddenly say, hey, operate that crane, you know, we're gonna fix that, rebuild the Brooklyn Bridge. It's collapsing. Yeah, right. And the point of the matter is, every one of those things use diesel and other carbon-based fuels. And I'm the only guy in America, all right, the former United States, that's brought that up. Why? Well, I'll tell you why. That's why there's no viewers of this program and why they throttle it. Because that would, like, a light bulb would go off in people's head. Hey, wait a second. That guy's right. We can't, you know, they're just bullshitting us about this, fixing the infrastructure. That's just another excuse for like $3 or $6 trillion money grab by the ruling elite. They're just gonna take that money and run. I told you, I've watched it outside my front door, you know, and these are lower end contractors, but I mean, it's a professional contracting company. I mean, you know, they've got the stuff, they've got the equipment, they've got the manpower, they've taken over 2 like big empty lot type stuff, and they have staging areas with their, you know, their portable, you know, mobile, you know, offices, all the equipment, everything you'd expect. And they've dug into the ground and they've covered it over, and then they had to redig it, and then they covered it over, and then they had to redig again. And then when they patched it, they turned this, what used to be a normal street, into like the rocky road to Dublin. I mean, it's insanity. They don't know what the hell they're doing. And you're talking about doing this all over America, Build Back Better, or Save America, which is the same thing. Because, see, they stole, you know, they steal shit from each other. It's the same story. It's like I say, it's 2 sides of the same counterfeit coin. People are afraid to listen to me because it's logical. It makes sense. It's the truth. It's the truth. It's the inarguable truth. And that's the thing. We can't argue with it. How can you argue with what I just said? Because it's the truth. Excuse me.
Clear the throat.
I'm clearing the throat. That handkerchief washed yesterday, by the way, with like Lysol laundry additive, the stuff that I got sent by Amazon. I realized I didn't finish this yesterday. I said 2 out of 3 times. I do a lot of online ordering because I don't have a car. 2 out of 3 times I get something, it's messed. It's like the wrong order or it's screwed up. Well, the one when they sent me that. I ordered this I like to clean my laundry because I have a cat, you know, I live alone, so, you know, it's hard to keep a house clean, so you want everything to be, you know, I do my laundry, I always put that Lysol additive in it. It's like a extra thing that just kills the germs. More so than just standard, you know, detergent. Excuse me, that's another reason why people don't like me. So what? Never belched? You live the life I did and you get up at, you know, 5 a.m. in the morning and drinking whatever, you'd be belching too. Well, anyway, I got the box and this stuff had spilled out. The box was soaking wet. And I go out there and the mailman was actually there. And he's still leaving it on the porch. You go, and his thing was, he was trying, it was so bizarre. It was actually surreal. He goes like, yeah, my truck smells real fresh. I'm like, man, you don't understand. You're delivering this wet thing, broken, you know, thing. It's whacked. I told you I've used these. I'm all for these people delivering food, you know. I may do it today because yesterday, I forgot. Did I tell you I fucked up my toe? I started that story earlier, but then I guess the sinking went out. So I'm out in the backyard, and I fed the birds, and I'm watering the flowers early in the morning. I did it today, the same thing. I was out there early, like at 5 something. Because that's what you should do. Because you don't, when it's going to be 91 degrees, back in my garden, it's south facing. Yesterday when I was out there for a little while, it was like hit 100 degrees before like 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. 100 degrees. All right, so it's going to be like probably 110. So you don't want, you got to water your plants in the morning before the sun comes out, or right at sunrise type of thing, when it's just, morning dusk, whatever they call that, the twilight of the morning. And so I'm hosing the ground, because I've got tomato plants, and a lot of them have the little flowers on there, and you don't want to get them wet because you want the bees to go in there and do their little pollinate dance. Same with my squashes that I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I get this year. I want squashes. We want squash. We want summer squash. We want zucchini. Those are the kind of protests I'll join. And so I'm next to this stinging nettle, and I think that's how I was talking about this, which I have to trim down today. I'm going to go out after this show and just do a little bit of yard work before it hits the 90, 100 degrees. And I got to trim this back. So I guess I was avoiding the stinging nettle. But anyway, I tripped. And I fucked up my big toe on my left side. Sounds funny, but my toe saved me. Somehow, like the string of my shoe pulled around the toe, and I was able to keep myself. Otherwise, I would have fell headfirst into a concrete mini pond I made. And there was nothing to grab onto, but my right arm brushed against the stinging nettle, and I was like, so I've got a black toe that's in the process of turning black and purple. Hopefully the nail doesn't fall off. That's scary. Of course, it's no more scary than this. Right? And you think you got problems. You think you got problems. So yeah. So I got that going for me. But anyway, so I use these services that deliver. But I told you, twice I used this one. I'm not going to mention a name. I mentioned a name before, but just for the sake of it. One of these services. 2 different times. One time I ordered 2 6-packs of a certain cola for my morning show. They only sent me 1. Another time they gave me an extra bag of some poor woman's stuff. It was like hamburger rolls and what other goofy thing was in there? Yeah. Like just stuff I had no interest in and couldn't eat. And so in both instances I contacted them. Now, not in their defense, I guess I was going to say defense, but what they did was they said, the soda thing, they reimbursed me. Okay, that's fine. But the thing is, I wanted my shit. I wanted the soda. Why couldn't they just drop off another one? Right? I even said that in my complaint, because everything, you can't talk to anybody. It has to be all texted, right? And so I said, okay. And the other time they said, oh, just keep the bag. Because I said, I'll put it out on the porch. Tell your driver to drive by. They could pick it up. I don't want it. It's not my stuff. I didn't order it. See, I do the right thing. I'm that type of guy. I do the right thing. I've always done that my whole life. Done the right thing, And they said, oh, just keep it. I ended up giving it away to somebody. You know, because the stuff in there I had no use for. Well, no, the hamburger rolls I put in the freezer because I've got some burgers in the freezer. You know, because previously I thought, well, if I ever did have a barbecue out back, my grill, you know, I'll have hamburgers, and I've got some Nathan's kosher dogs and some hot dog rolls in there. But now I'm not so sure I want anybody to visit me anymore. Because they don't watch my videos, they don't buy my books, they don't buy my freaking shirts, they don't listen to my music, even the free stuff. You know, like they can listen free on Spotify or YouTube or whatever, or watch this for free. They don't care. Go to locals, sign up, you know? Disappointment face. So what I'm trying to get at is, look, they can't fix the roadways, all right? They're inept already, the contractors that exist today, let alone some grandiose Build Back Better or Save America infrastructure project. They're eliminating the fuels that make that possible and that actually make society run. Because you know, this one I've said I haven't said this in at least several weeks, many weeks actually. But it's not just the heavy equipment that runs on carbon-based fuels. It's fire trucks and ambulances, okay? And I'm not talking about some SUV-sized EMF, you know, EM, whatever they call it, EMS vehicle, right? Yeah, you could battery operate that type of thing. Probably. But the point is the demand that they put on. The high speed, you know, all the sirens, the equipment in there, right? Clear, you know, all this kind of stuff. But some of your average ambulance in your major market city, those things have some serious tonnage to it. And fire trucks, man, those things are tons of tons. And what are you, powering those ladders up there, pumping that water? Those things don't run on batteries like that. You know? And that's just emergency vehicles, not to mention all the other vehicles. You know, you call 911 and, you know, so, and these people who are talking about, okay, so say you're on the Save America thing and you're going to like clean up Chicago or something like that. Well, you're not going to send those SWAT team vehicles, they don't run on batteries, right? And you know, all these politicians and these news readers who have all these like bulletproof, you know, super souped up vehicles that weigh like, you know, 2 or 3 times what they should weigh, right? They're not running on electric. They're too heavy, right? So this is the whole idea. It's like, no matter which way you look at it, this is a carbon-based civilization. My mustache. You don't like my mustache, eh? People don't have a sense of humor today. That's what's missing from society. People don't have a sense of humor. There's too much anger. There's too much functional illiteracy. People unwilling to like look at an issue and dissect it and think of it. Right? I call it, and it's the unknowable. You know, and then there's this whole idea of censorship and like not allowing people to talk, and people who are triggered by words. Words. A word. He said. So what? Right? So what? I'll tell you, man, it's crazy. So yeah, so do like I do. Live in the 50s and the 60s, man. It was a great time. It was the best of times and the worst of times, you know, depending on certain perspective, but way better than it was now. I've been listening to like music from that era lately, using my Echo Dot thing and just paging through my 1,000 album book that I've shown on this show. I don't know if I still have that or not. Let's see. I'm still debating on whether or not I drink today or not. I might not. You know. But let's just let's look at the 1,000 albums. This was my drink setup a couple of days ago. 1,000 record covers or albums. That's my Zippo lighter on the top of that book. My beer, my ashtray, you know. Stuff that people are afraid of. Smoking, drinking, right? Hey, I got a good question for you. So when they bring in all these driverless cars, right? Are you going to be able to drink and drive? If you're not behind the wheel, it's a driverless car. You going to be able to sit in there and have cocktails? Drink and driving become legal again? And you know, the whole idea that the drinking age was 18 back in the day of the Vietnam War, you know, one of the arguments, a strong argument was, if you're old enough to die for your country, you should be old enough to have a beer, right? Well, you know, we've had non-stop wars. Of course, they call them conflicts. They're undeclared wars for the past 30 years, right, in this country. And all of these, you know, young men and women who've died, and tens of thousands more who have been, you know, injured for life, either physically or traumatically. Well, how come they can't drink? They can go over there at 18, but they can't have a beer here. You know? See what I mean? The times have changed. In the 50s and 60s, the times have changed, man. You know? People are protesting the wrong thing. Why are the ruling elite, you know, they're the ones who are responsible for everything. They're the ones hoarding all the money. They're the ones like that are living these ridiculous lives. And yet you got all these like people on the street holding up these signs protesting about stuff, but it's those elitists and it's the announcers who are making $20 million a year, right? You know, that aren't experiencing, you know, that thing that they're trying to like foment the protesters to argue about. It's actually getting cold in here. And I'm so wired with sound, it's like I gotta hope my thermostat's in this room. I turned it down to about 64 or something, but I hope the temperature doesn't get that cold and then the heat goes on. You know, be a total disaster. Anyway.
This evening, I come in the councils of government. We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist.
I've resigned. I will not be pushed, filed, stamped, indexed, briefed, debriefed, or numbered.
That's my line. I have resigned. Yeah, so screw them. And just live your life. And watch this show and buy my gear and support this show. You know, right now I have 0 concurrent viewers. Okay? The algorithm has even given up. Imagine that. The YouTube algorithm has even given up. Imagine that. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Really funny. Really funny.
Yeah, it is. It's really, really funny, you know?
Really funny. Really funny.
You know, you have to laugh at them. You know? You have to laugh at them. And like I was trying to say in yesterday's show, it's like you know, you have things to do and just do them. You know, I'm living in the 50s and the 60s, and I'm listening to music and, you know, and enjoying myself and getting a suntan. I mean, my face looks light, you know, for some reason, you know, because it's black and white. But it's like, you know, I'm tanned. You know, I'm out there getting a suntan every day. Soaking up the vitamin D. You know, the sun is like the ultimate disinfectant, and it also boosts your immune system, and it kills everything. You know, all you need to do is get 20 minutes, a half hour of sun a day on as much exposed skin as possible. It's like, you know, you don't go out and like put your face in the sun like I see some people doing, thinking, yeah, it feels good because your body needs sun. You know, but no, you gotta, like, you know, strip anything. Take it off, baby. Take it off. You gotta wear those short shorts or mini skirt and that tank top, right? You know. Show a share. That's what you gotta do. People just don't get it. So what you do is you just have fun then, man. So, you know, it's about living life. So, I don't know. I think it's a kind of a cool set. I think it's a kind of a cool show. I'm sorry about the first 15 minutes of it. You know, wasn't my fault. Whatever they did because they just didn't want you or anyone else. Though I'm pretty darn sure this thing isn't listed, you know, for someone else to find. Right. You know, that's the whole thing.
You're listening to Tony Caravan Live.
They just refuse to allow this to grow. The only show on YouTube that has 0 live viewers, and after the fact sometimes gets 2 to 5 viewers. Have you ever seen a YouTube video get 5 views? No. By a guy who wrote 9 books, several CDs, 50 songs, has held jobs in major markets, knows thousands and thousands of people have encountered him, right? Puts on a professional show, right? Professional show. It's a produced show. I was telling somebody the other day, you know, I've got a show, it's like you know, there's like music, perform live music on my show. I've got all these ridiculous sound effects.
Channel check. Left channel. Left channel.
And that really was in your left channel, right? I don't have any producer. There's nobody else in this room but me. My cat left a long time ago. He's gone. He's gonzoed. Yeah, so I would walk somewhere today and grab a couple of beers, which is usually my rationale. I figure, well, at least if I walk, I'm burning some calories hiking to this place. But I fucked up my toe yesterday. So now I got to worry about aggravating that thing for the sake of trying. And the cigars I have are stale. But it's going to be 91 degrees. I don't have air conditioning in my back bedroom. It's in my front bedroom. Because this is a 100-year-old house. And when it was rewired, the last owner used that front room as his like living room. Because he had a bar. This, where I am now, used to be a barber shop. This production studio was a barber shop one time. I said that before, but I might as well say it again. And so he lived upstairs. So the front room was his like living room. So he had that wired, you know, electricity wired. As opposed to the back room he had as a bedroom, but I guess in his mind, he's an old man. He just went in there to go to sleep. Probably had a bed and a little light on a nightstand. That's it. You know. So the power going into there is questionable. Because when I opened up the wall to expand the bathroom, I found that there was still some old wiring in there. Even though I had that repaired, but I had an electrician come in and put in a circuit breaker box, which was the only way I got my insurance, actually. And I kind of know where the, you know, which outlets are, you know, connected to to circuit breakers and have, you know, can handle so many amps. And there's some old knob and tube wiring and stuff that's probably still in there. So I wouldn't dare try to plug in an air conditioner in that bedroom. You know, it'd just be and I'm not going to hire some electrician to come in and charge me like $300 to hook up some kind of outlet, because it would be a nightmare. Because these floors, they're like double floors. You know, you have the ceiling here from the floor below, but it's like that plaster lath or, you know, lattice type stuff. And then there's this gap in between there. And then there's the floorboards up here. So it's not like just drilling through. And, you know, who knows what's all in there. And then plus the areas he would have to come from would be on one weird side where there's stairs. It would be a nightmare snaking wire up to there. Anyway, it ain't gonna happen. So when I get we get these heat waves like this, it's like I have a ceiling fan I installed because they don't use much electricity. So my power bill's going way, way up. Anyway, so, you know, this show was
quality, quantity, and variety.
I cut that off because I'm kind of going to end the show. I think it's time to end.
Good morning.
Thanks for watching. I'm sorry about the beginning of this. It was a pain. You know, visit TonyCaravanLive.com. Buy something. Share, subscribe, like. I don't know. Do something. Show me a sign that you care. right? Show me a sign that you care. All the effort I put into this program. I mean, I don't know. I think it's a really cool presentation. I don't get it. I just don't get it.